tonight. Lagos State Environmental Sanitation Corps arrests 17 miscreants laying siege under Bolade pedestrian bridge. Dialogue between the federal government, Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners ends in deadlock. On the foreign scene, Australia unveils plans for largest navy build-up since World War II. And in sport, Team South-South sustains dominance at Nigeria Cricket Federation Under-17 Championship. Now the details. I am Dele Agadumo. The Lagos State Environmental Sanitation Corps, Lagos, popularly known as KAI, has apprehended 17 miscreants found laying siege on the Bolade pedestrian bridge. Corps Marshal of the agency, Olatubosun Cole, who said this after the conclusion of the exercise, decries the recalcitrant nature of the criminal elements in the habit of lurking around pedestrian bridges with intent to dispossess pedestrians of their possessions. According to him, it is important to note that there is no hiding place for them because any hindrance identified as a threat to pedestrian safety on bridges will be met with stiff opposition and consequences. Cole said the collaborative efforts of the task force chairman, National Union of Road Transport Workers, NURTW, Oshodi Branch, A. Ibrahim Olashiu, and Babaoja of Oshodi Bolade, Sonny Olaniwaju, resulted in the arrest of the miscreants. The Lagos State government has lifted the ban on the activities of Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria, RTEN. Special Advisor to the Governor on Transportation, Shola Giwa, said the government took the decision after careful consideration and extensive consultations with relevant stakeholders, including members of the association, Trade Union Congress, CUC, and the general public. Giwa stated that the Lagos State Parks and Garages Administrators Committee, which was set up to manage parks and garage facilities in the state, has been dissolved with immediate effect. He explained that the decision was made in the best interest of promoting unity and peaceful coexistence, ensuring the smooth operation of transport services within the state, as well as helping to foster a more collaborative relationship between the government and the transport union, ultimately leading to improved services for the public. It will be recalled that the state government suspended the activities of RTEN across the state in September 2022 and constituted a caretaker committee to oversee the affairs of the union. The Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, DSVA, has continued with its efforts in kicking sexual and gender-based violence, SGBV, out of Lagos, with the sensitization of residents and community members of Agboyi. In her address at the event, the Executive Secretary, Titilola Vaivo Adeniyi, advised residents to support the fight against SGBV and all forms of violence in their various communities, stressing that the core mandate of the agency is to reach the state of domestic and sexual violence. Vaivo Adeniyi, who was represented by the head of community engagement, Damilare Adeusi, stressed the role of the community in ensuring survivors can break the culture of silence and ensure perpetrators are held accountable. While maintaining that Agboyi Kingdom should not be a hiding place for perpetrators of domestic and sexual violence, she emphasized the need to report any case directly or as a mandated reporter through the agency's toll-free line 08000 333 333. The Nigeria Agricultural Quarantine Service (NAQS) has joined in clamping down on hoarders and smugglers of food items and other agricultural produce as it announces the deployment of more officers to Nigeria's land and sea borders. The service in a statement said the move is to support the federal government's efforts to stabilize food prices nationwide and ensure food security in Nigeria. It said food security is a paramount concern for the Nigerian government and is committed to ensuring that agricultural commodities are not smuggled out of the country through ports and land borders. The agency's acting Comptroller General, Godwin Audu, has also urged the public to report any suspicious activities related to the hoarding or smuggling of agricultural commodities. He said community participation and collaboration were vital to the success of the campaign. Now to the rest of the stories. The meeting of the federal government, the Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners, NATO, and other stakeholders has ended with no agreement reached. The meeting was called by the government over the suspension of operations by tanker drivers who stopped lifting of petroleum products on Monday amid harsh economic realities. Minister of State for Petroleum Heineken Obiri said the engagement will continue today as the government would not fold its arms and allow Nigerians to go through more hardship as been witnessed. NATO members had threatened shutdown all over the country over the high cost of automotive gas oil, also known as diesel, which is used to fuel their trucks for the movement of petroleum products across the country. Meanwhile, members of the Major Energies Marketers of Nigeria, MEMAN, says it will be illegal to negotiate and fix the cost of lifting fuel with members of the National Association of Transport Owners. Executive Secretary of the MEMAN, Clement Isong, said the association does not have the power to negotiate the costs of transporting fuel, adding that the law does not permit that. It will be recalled that tanker drivers on Monday parked their trucks, refusing to lift fuel over high costs of operations. NATO President Yusuf Othman had, in a letter to truck drivers who are members of other unions and associations, said NATO had made several efforts to secure negotiations for appropriate and commensurate freight rates for its operations from all authorities concerned in the industry, especially the major marketers, without any positive results. Major marketers say the decision of NATO to stop transporting fuel may not have much effect on its members, of whom now have separate transporters. The organized labor has begun mobilizing its members for a nationwide protest slated for February 27 and 28 over the cost of living crisis in the country. According to reports, the National Executive Council had a Zoom meeting on Friday to review the resolution of the National Action Council of the NLC and the Trade Union Congress vis-à-vis organized labor agreement with the federal government. Rising from the crucial meeting, the labor unions agreed to demand the implementation of the agreement with the federal government without further delay. It stated that if the federal government fails to fulfill its promises after the 14-day ultimatum, the labor will embark on a 2-day nationwide protest. Head of Information of the NLC, Benson Upa, who confirmed the resolution of the meeting, said the NLC affiliates are being mobilized for the protest, just as state chapters of the Congress vowed to join the nationwide demonstration. Now to foreign news. Australia has announced plans to build its largest navy since World War II, allocating more than $35 billion for the defense project over the next 10 years. The surface vessels will join a fleet of nuclear-powered submarines Australia plans to build under the AUKUS Pact with the United States and the United Kingdom, the first 3 of which are expected to be delivered early next decade. Analysts say the move points to heightened tensions with China in the Indo-Pacific. The plan to bolster the fleet includes 20 destroyers and frigates and 6 large optimally crewed surface vessels that can operate with sailors aboard or independently as drones. Australian Chief of Navy Mark Hammond stated that a strong Australia relies on a strong navy that is equipped to conduct diplomacy in the region, deter potential adversaries, and defend its national interests when called. In our sport, the South-South cricket team continued its dominance at this year's Nigeria Cricket Federation NCF Under-17 National Championship, winning the boys and girls events with unbeaten runs at the Twin Oval, Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. It was the 5th consecutive victory in the girls' event and 4th win in the boys' event at the tournament. In the girls' event, Team South-South defeated South-East by 35 runs, while the boys defeated South-West by 50 runs. The NCF Championship began in 2019 with some of the players that passed through the tournament at male and female levels progressing into the national teams. And that is our news at 10. Just before we go, ensure the registration mark on your vehicles is clear and visible at all times. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X, formerly Twitter, Lagos Traffic 961, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Watch us live on Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. On YouTube, subscribe and watch all our previous programs and news on our channel, Traffic Radio 961. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration trained 280 unemployed youths for global certification on solar farm construction technology for the supply of electricity in Nigeria? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news are the highlights of the major stories. The Lagos Environmental Sanitation Corps, popularly known as KAI, has apprehended 17 miscreants found laying siege on the Boladi pedestrian bridge. The meeting of the federal government, the Nigerian Association of Road Transport Owners, NATO, and other stakeholders has ended with no agreement reached. The engagement is expected to continue today. We also told you that Australia has announced plans to build its largest navy since World War II, allocating more than $35 billion for the defense project over the next 10 years. And in sports, the South-South cricket team continued its dominance at this year's Nigeria Cricket Federation NCF Under-17 National Championship, winning the boys and girls events with unbeaten runs at the Twin Oval, Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to lagostrafficradio@lagossit.gov.ng. That is the news broadcast compiled by Adiola Akindele. I am Dele Agadumo. Good morning. Thank you for listening.